Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gon' rise to the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. Run away, I don't have to plan it. I can go, change my fate, you won't understand it. All alone, that's okay, people I can't stand them. They don't want me to change, keep me where I'm standing. And I don't wanna be where I am, and I want something more, take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Had my camera and mic off. I did that because I started so early this morning and pinned the link up in the chat. So I turned the camera in. Anyways, good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. As many of you guys know, you didn't see me yesterday, and there's a reason. I took the day. Many of you guys know Susanna. Sorry, Susanna is in town, so she actually made Bullhorn Betty dinner last night and came over and hung out. So I was just doing some enjoying my day and just enjoying my day. So just a big shout out to her. Thank you so much. And you know, this morning I was up, I went to bed. I woke up several times. I've been doing that lately, you know, where I go to bed early, like around, 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm up at like midnight, and then I go back to sleep, and I'm up at, 3 o'clock or in the morning. And that's kind of this morning. So I've been up since 3 a.m. and just been researching. And even before I went to bed last night, I sent myself a whole mess of stuff related to this case, and I'm really not on the bandwagon of these children have something to do. I'm just not there yet. And I don't know how many of you guys are. I mean, yeah, there's some, some differences in their stories and, the friends and whatnot. But I'm not quite there yet. I haven't, and I feel bad for these kids. But anyways, before we get too far into it, let's just get our morning rolling out this morning. Good morning, all. Get your cup of coffee if you haven't. We've got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about related to this case. I've did some mapping. We're going to look at some things that I think are important related to Kiely Rodni. I believe I was calling Jaeger myself, but as for whatever reason, I don't know where I thought I heard his name being the J being an H, but everybody's calling him Jagger, so we'll call him Jagger. I feel bad for him too, and you'll find out why. Now, there is the StreamYard stream is attached at the top of the chat. If you guys, want to participate in the conversation, if you have something to say, please, by all means, come on up. You have the ability to turn off your camera if you would not like to be seen. I'm also happy to, remove just so people just see my face, whatever, people are a little different. A lot of people are shy. We like to respect that. So good morning, Crazy Nurse 2.0. You were first, but not quite. Bullhorn Betty beat you this morning. So I was up at 3 a.m. I think you might have been too. I think I saw you in a chat. Belinda, good morning. Karen G, nice to see you. Steph Hammond, morning coffee beans. Aw, I love that. Maybe we need to go to coffee beans instead of coffee club. That's cute. I like that. Coffee beans. You coffee beans. Oh, Lord. Sheila, good morning. Susanna is in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you. And I got to say, I woke up this morning craving that food. So I've already eaten breakfast. My breakfast was a little Cajun. Lucky Charm, nice to see you. Debbie, good morning. Heather Mack. Yeah, I like this song. You know, I try to find, you know, when I'm listening to these songs, but it's time for me to refresh. I've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, but I just love that song. I really do. I'm right there with you guys. Lana, good morning. Kim, nice to see you here. Kim Maple. I don't know if there's another Kim, so I figured I'd throw that out there. Okay, looks like I'm sure we got some more in here. Had my coffee. Husband went and got donut. Ooh, send me some donuts, Heather. That'll go perfect with the Cajun. Nancy B, good morning. Crazy Prepper Linda, good morning. Yes, we're going to start off the week on a good note, and then we're going to get sad, and then we're going to get, we're going to talk about this case. It's a sad case, and I feel for the mom. I feel for the mother. My Lord, my heart just broke. It just broke, and people are, Misty D, good morning. Julie, Real Gypsy Soul, nice to see you in here. Anissa, where have you been? Like, you're coming in late. Being here on time is late. Don't you know that? Nature Lover, good morning. Good morning, early bird. Yes, we are a bunch of early birds here. Carrie, I wasn't either. I'm more re-listening to Sammy's interviews. The more contradictions, and it seems almost slip-ups I hear. Yeah, and it could be that, I just feel, I don't know, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at their body language. I just don't feel that. I mean, if they are these masterminds, man, this world is creating some scary stuff. If that's the case for me, things may change. Now, I may find something on here that may change my mind. I got so much stuff pulled up. A lot of the stuff I've perused through, but I haven't taken a deep dive. I've just taken a deep dive into facts about this case. But there's a lot of speculation surrounding this case, especially since she's been gone. Today is like the 10th day, right? Or from 9 to 10 days right now, because she disappeared technically on August 6th because she was last seen after midnight. So, I just, I want your guys' opinion, but I've also got mine. Yeah, Dolly called him Jaeger because for some reason, I think there was a video out where he was being called Jaeger. Somebody called him Jaeger or something. I heard it myself. And so naturally, I thought that. Beautiful Amethyst. Okay, Amethyst, good morning. I skipped over you, but I saw somebody say good morning to you. Sylvia, nice to see you. Ramilla, nice to see you. Victoria. If some girl claiming to be my daughter's friend abandoned her like Sam did, shaking my head wouldn't fly. And there was a lot that we were discussing on that too. And these are great conversation points that I'd like to touch on. I really would. I just not at this moment, but I loved it. Absolutely good points. So let's bring those back up as we start getting into this, or come on panel and chat with me, because I realize that there are some discrepancies, but I find at least in my opinion, sometimes I feel that when things don't really make sense to us as humans, not any particular person, just us as humans, I think sometimes we naturally, our brain just starts working in overdrive. And sometimes we see things that aren't really there. I find myself doing it. And, I even with this case, I keep wanting to get on that train of thought, that the kids and this was some kind of elaborate scheme to harm this girl. And I really am just not there yet. And I'll go over why. And maybe, there might be a lot of people in this audience that just don't agree with me. And that's okay. But I'd like to just have a different perspective, maybe to throw into, you know, the pile of speculation, right? Because we do have information and it's not a lot. Car told factual information. But again, it doesn't really help, so to speak, with this case. It just doesn't. Johnny B likes Betty. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I made a friend. I just really like him. I like his personality. I like the way he talks. I like maybe it's the radio voice. I don't know. But Johnny B seems like he's really, and I feel bad because I did not realize that YouTube did not used to be this crazy. It's the other creators that's saying that just over this last year, it's gotten really, really intense with all these trolls and haters on here that just, all they want to do is cause problems, and it's sad because creators that are genuinely trying to come out here and genuinely trying to have their entertainment channels and cover true crime and, just kind of do their thing. These people are just causing chaos for no reason. It's just unnecessary. And it's sad that they choose to take their time to do that. And I do hope, and I think, it seems to me that YouTube is catching on to some of this stuff because like they're putting a lot of into a lot of the stuff, like the impersonation of accounts that started happening really, really bad. And, YouTube got wind of that and shut that down pretty quickly. And many of you guys don't know, it's now forced everybody to show their membership count if they are a creator on this platform. So people that are troll accounts that only have one members that try to impersonate another creator, it makes it hard because they can no longer hide that count. And you'll be able to identify them. So YouTube is working behind the scenes on some of those issues. It is taking time. And not only that, but we have to consider the fact that every time they do this, they have to make an algorithm for it. Like this is not something where you just go and change a setting and then boom, it's done. You got to build the setting. And that's what YouTube, that's what they do behind the scenes every single day to make this platform better. But I feel bad for him because he's really good. He's really personable. He's really likable. I like the way he explains it. I like his personality. He seems a little fun too, right? So I just wish him the best, and I don't want him being discouraged because there's going to be hate. I promise you, it does die down. This will correct itself. YouTube is getting better daily, and I do anticipate more stuff rolling out to help protect creators from YouTube. Just a thought. Let's see here. Robin, nice to see you. I think I said hi to you, Carrie G, but if I didn't, good morning. Kim8872, good morning. Cynthia Ricker, good morning. Connie, I see Connie Branch, Julia T, Tracy Daughtry, Emma Lou, nice to see you. Margaret Allen, nice to see you. Love from Scotland, my Scotland friend. I think that's about it. Jacqueline, nice to see you. See if I got anybody else. I think that's about it. If I missed you, I do apologize. Good morning, everyone in here. We have 158 people in the chat right now. If you guys would go out there and make sure you like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Many of you guys know I'm a little melancholy this morning because many of you guys know I've been really, good morning, Gator Bait. Many of you guys know that we have kind of our little coffee club family here in the morning, and the people that come here regularly, when you stop coming, it is noticeable. We love our people here. And many of you guys know I've been asking about Sepsis Kill. It's our beautiful, loving member, Emma. And she's been in here many times in and out of the hospital. And I've been talking about how I've been very concerned that I haven't heard from her, because I'm always hearing from her, whether it's on here just for a moment, or she emails me, or just, we communicate even when we're not live. And just like many of you guys do, I get a lot of emails from Susie Sue. I get, stuff from Karen. I get stuff from all of you. Jackie sent me stuff. And you guys are like a big family to me, an extended family. So when one of us is not here, that's always here, I get, I worry, especially somebody like Emma that we know has had a lot of medical issues. And so for the last, several lives, I brought her up, and, just if anybody had heard from her, to please, let her know that I'm just trying to make sure she's okay, and this, that, and the other. I did get an email, guys. She's not doing well. She's not doing well at all. And so I just want everybody in here to just, throw some prayer hands up for Emma. We love her. She's always been a great supporter of this channel in a multitude of ways. And she's just become part of the family and a very good friend that I've never met. And I hate hearing when any of us are not doing well and really not doing well. And, we just love Emma, and it's just breaking my heart that, there's nothing I can do but sit here helplessly, and it's just hard. So if, I just want everybody to know that one of our own is not doing well at all. And, we want her to pull through this and, just really get better. And she just needs a miracle. I don't know what else to say. So just keep her in your prayers and your thoughts throughout the week. She really does need them. And I appreciate all of the love and the support that you guys give one another. It's really beautiful. It really is. It truly is. So with this whole Kiely Rodni case, a lot of weird stuff, that many of you guys are picking up on. Good morning, Irene. I didn't miss you this morning. And I'm just not feeling that there's this big conspiracy with these children. And, is there a love triangle? When you're a teenager, isn't there always a love triangle? When you're just learning love, and, and it's really not love, it's more lusty, and you're kind of experiencing, with yourself, and, boys, and, things are going on. So you realize that maybe that was not a good idea. And, friends date friends, and it's kind of all like kept in this really kind of weird circle. It's life, and it's young life. And the smaller the place you live, the more it happens, right? Like there's only so many boys and so many girls. I don't know if that's the case here. I just don't know. But to me, when I was younger, sometimes I didn't know which one of my girlfriends, my other guy friends, were dating that week. It was, I don't know if that, was there some jealousy? Were there some infighting within the group when there was a change like that? Of course there was. But over time, we all got back together, and, it was like nothing ever happened. And, now, Julie is dating John instead of your friend, Jennifer, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I really have tried to remember, because many of you guys know I was a troubled child in my teenage years, in high school, and all that other stuff. I had a lot of family problems. I was really trying, I'm not saying that she had family problems, but what I'm saying is I had the life experience of the parties and the party lifestyle at a teenage, age. And, of course we're angry that these kids just left their friends. But you know what? I was talking to Susanna, and it's like, I've been left at young kids that are using alcohol and maybe other substances. Guess what? They're not thinking. They're not thinking of everything that could go wrong. Even the teenagers out there today that aren't even using alcohol or substances or anything in between. aren't using their noggin half the time. They do some stupid stuff all by themselves. Sure do. And so it's not, yes, was it stupid of the kids to do that? Absolutely. But they weren't thinking of any risks. This was just another party that they may have gone to. I mean, let's be honest. The girls, they got nose rings and tattoos, and it's not like they're bad kids or anything like that, but they're into a different lifestyle. They're wearing, more of the, what our at least my age, my generation would call gothic almost. They wore the black, they had the nose rings, they had the tattoo, probably smoked the marijuana, just that part. There was, your schools are made up by a bunch of different things, right? Let's talk about them. You got your jockeys, you got your cheerleaders, you got your preps, you've got your your thugs, you've got your goody two shoes, and you got your kind of gothic, kind of, hippie, spiritual, type of, people and stuff. Mean girl vibe. This case is giving a mean girl vibe, possibly, possibly, but I don't know. I'm just not there yet. I'm just not. And here's why. Because there's so many things that could go on when children drink. And this terrain out there is rough, guys. There's literally 1,000 things that could have happened that aren't nefarious. And, I go back and I listen to the law enforcement's press conferences, and they're saying, really, we only, stated that this could potentially be an abduction because we can't find the car, as if they don't really believe this is an abduction or, foul means. Could it be? I'm not discrediting that. That is a viable option. That's a viable option in this case. I mean, it really is. It's possible and probable that something like that could have happened in the environment they were in. Absolutely. I'm not disputing that one bit. I'm not. But I'm not really willing to lean there just yet. And here's why. These are young children, impressionable children, and they're trying, let's just play devil's advocate here, okay? Just work with me here as I kind of give you my thoughts. These are children, okay, guys? These are kids that are already emotional. They just lost their friend. They were out there drinking, many of them way beyond what they should have been, probably falling over. Memories are foggy. And here we are as adults beating up these children that just lost their friend. They are probably going through some of the most excruciating, gut-wrenching, like, why did I leave her here? Like, I'm like really feeling totally bad for these kids because of them trying to help use social media to try to help their friend. And I even feel even more horrible that this is almost becoming normal and natural when people bring stories to YouTube. It's like the people that are trying to say what happened end up getting severely attacked for even coming out. It's going to make it to a point where nobody's going to trust us or come to us to help and, show these people's faces and show the missing person. I feel like it's getting to the point where it's going to be so toxic that people, instead of using this beautiful platform for exposure, are not going to get the exposure that they need because they're terrified of what the audience and people and other creators are going to do. That's first and foremost. Secondly, we really don't have a lot of information to point the finger at them right at the moment. Could it happen? Are their stories not lining up? Yes, I can agree with that. I agree with that statement 100%. But could that be because of the alcohol and other substances? I remember there's been times when I call friends the next morning, it's like, oh my God, what did I do? Okay. What in the world did I do? And we're sitting there talking about it, and it's like, I remember this, 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 and this. And then a friend's like, oh, but don't you remember this? And it's like, yeah, you're right. I do remember that. And so now so you see what I'm saying? So could that be some of the inconsistencies? I truly believe that, yes, that's a good possibility and probable, Then I heard Sam was actually 22 and not 18. Yeah, but I hung out when I was, well, she's 16. So, yeah, a little odd, but not totally uncommon, for girls, in my opinion, even for guys. I mean, guys at certain ages hang out with older people and things of that nature. But again, I'm not saying that they didn't have a hand in it. I don't want you guys misunderstanding. It's just, that's not the first thing I'm going to go to. And I want to show you guys something. I'm not sure if I'm just quite ready to show this to you, if I want to go through some updates on here. Let's go through some updates on here first. Sorry about that, guys. I hit a button. Hold on a second. I got to share my screen again. I ended up going back. I'm still, the MacBook Pro is still a little tricky for me. So I do make some, I should have sound. Do I not have sound? Yeah, that was my thoughts as well. So I'm just going to show you guys why. Let me just pull this up for you guys. Just pull this up. So here's kind of the area. I just marked out a couple little things. So here is kind of the, this is where the campground was. We don't know specifically exactly. I mean, I know that there is a parking pad there, and there's an area called the sanctuary there that has like little logs that they can sit on and hang out and stuff like that over here. But I don't know specifically where that location is on this map, is what I'm trying to refer to. And so her house is all the way down here. And of course, I just did the line straight. That's not how you go. They have to actually go out here and then down this road and then over here to 80 and then 80 over and things of that nature. I'm about to show you guys here because I did map out how she would have gone home. What would the ride be like to get her from Prosser Family Campground to her house at Lost Trail Lodge? And so I did map it, but there's a lot of things in here because many of you guys know I did bring up a theory a couple days ago about how I truly thought it was possible that she took a wrong turn because she was inebriated and she went the wrong direction before she realized that she took the wrong turn. And did something happen? Did she turn around and end up going into a lake? Did something, are the search efforts in the right location? Because did they take into consideration of her drive home, which was 30 minutes? If she made the wrong turn, she probably wouldn't even notice that she made the wrong turn until she realized that it had been over a half hour and she still had not made it home. Now that could have probably, might have not even happened. But if it did, there are several areas that I think are of, concern for me. Because when she came out of Prosser Family Campground, she had to make a left. But what if she made a right and went up here? There's not a whole lot of huge bodies of water up here if she took 89 the wrong way. But we do know that there is this huge body of water at Prosser Family Campground. Also, if she did get here and came down to 80, what happens is instead of her taking a left, she takes a right and goes up this way. There's also a Boca reservoir right here. There's also another wrong turn down 267, down 89 over here. She could have passed her turn here and went straight down 80 this way. There's Donner Lake. And then under here is Lake Tahoe. If she went down 267, could she have accidentally ran into Lake Tahoe? That's about a 30-minute drive. So it's just, to me, I'd like to resolve this issue first in my mind. I'd like to resolve, did she make a wrong turn somewhere? Did she, go into the water? I still believe if she was as intoxicated as everybody was stating that she was, then she might have made a really poor decision, which the smartest person in the world under substances and alcohol can make some of the stupidest decisions they've ever made in their life. And I would just like to resolve this issue first before attacking these young kids that are very impressionable. They're already going through a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda. They're probably being yelled at by friends. They're probably being yelled at by their parents. They're being yelled at by everybody on social media. Everything's being taken out of context, out of place. Is it? I don't know. I'm just throwing some of that stuff out there, right? A couple of things that we do know for a fact. Let's talk about some factual information related to this case, and then we're going to move on to some articles and some videos. And I'd like to, if you guys have questions, if you guys have information that could help this channel on this segment related to Kiely Rodni, please click that link at the top for the StreamYard and come on over and explain or talk or voice your opinion or anything you'd like to do. Now would be a great time to do that. So what we know right now, what we know as a fact, and this was in a post on social media from, I believe, the Placer County Sheriff. And basically all that was said, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can find it and just show you. All that was said was basically the one thing that we know about right now is that Kiely took a screenshot at 6:08 in the store before the party, and at 12:33 on August 6th, Kiely's phone went completely off, went off grid. Those are the two facts that we know about. Many people believe that this was this conspiracy with these children because of some kind of love triangle or some kind of situation with them on a more personal level. Jagger lives 4 hours away and was with his father at the time this party was happening. It sounds to me like outside of the one telephone call or text message between, I'm not sure if it was a call or a text message. I believe he said he spoke with her, if I'm not mistaken. He spoke with her that night. And if that is the case, he was not even anywhere near that party. He was 4 hours away. And as a young kid, I'm pretty sure he didn't feel like driving that far. I don't know. We'll let you slide, Susanna. No sleeping on the job. but not that night, she said. There wasn't a fight about who won that night. Yeah, and there's this whole fight thing. Apparently, one of the kids was talking about how they do go there, the fight. Were there some fights? Maybe a couple of the older people may have gotten a little, tanked up and wanted to flex some muscle, and all good fun. Whatever. Good morning, Robin. Nice to see you. So there are still a lot of questions that I have, and if and when for me, again, I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for my audience. I'm not speaking for other creators. I'm not speaking on anybody else's behalf, but my own. And before I'm personally ready to point the fingers in another direction, I'm very curious about what has been searched, what locations have been searched, and if other locations are in the process of being searched. Maybe some of you guys may know that answer. I personally do not know that answer conclusively. So there was no press conference yesterday. There is something going on related to a white hoodie that they said she was wearing at the party. And a lot of people, again, look into things that don't make sense. Like this, apparently this white hoodie has the words "odd future." It was sold in a store. Many people probably have this hoodie with odd future on it. I don't think it's a subliminal message. I just want to make sure people know I don't believe that that's some subliminal message that is related to that jacket. I don't think it was anything like that. And people have been speculating about Sammy and her parents and things of that nature. Her mom, or I think it's her mom that's the PI, or her mom is the attorney and her dad's the PI, or vice versa. You can't help what professions your parents have. I don't think the profession your parents have dictate the conduct you have as a teenager. It could. But I don't think that is a slam dunk as to why somebody should be looking at Sammy in a negative light or being associated with this particular case. Did Sammy, from what I'm hearing, Sammy did say some, things that aren't adding up to some people, or may have modified her original statement on social media that has some people a little confused. But I also want you guys to remember that she was also there at the party for the better part of the night with these people, doing the alcohol, doing the other substances. And could that have affected her ability to remember things clearly? Could it have made things foggy? This is where I'm having a hard time saying that, this is 100% the kids had something to do with it. I know other people have their opinions, and I really do like the conversation and the debate about this, about the, options that could have happened related to Kiely Rodni. I'm just praying that it's not as nefarious as people think. I really would, I have a funny feeling, like in the pit of my stomach, that this is all going to end really bad. I want to have the hope and the optimism, but this is what we do. And it just, when you start hearing all these days, now we're coming up on day 10 and everything like that, I just have a really bad feeling this isn't going to end well, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't end worse than it has to. I really would hate to hear that these children were capable of this. And I just really think we all need to be careful how we speak to these children, because let's face it, they're still kids. Okay. So everybody just, relax a little bit. These are children we're dealing with, that we're attacking about this case. So I want to make sure that, let's have open debate about that portion of the conversation, whether these children could have been involved in this case and why we feel the way we feel. But let's make sure we leave that here in a constructive way. And we're not, going over and above and attacking children when we don't have enough information. At this point, it's conjecture. And anybody has to realize, even if you feel it and think it and you process it in your brain, does not always necessarily mean that it's true. I just don't want one of these children, when I play this tape through, going down this path, I just don't want to have like a child, doing something to themselves because they can't handle the pressure of the social media, phenomenon and people picking on them, beating them up and stuff like that. I just don't want to have that kind of a situation. So I want to be very, very cautious in how the Bullhorn Betty channel proceeds on this particular file and case. Does it mean that we're not looking at that avenue? Of course not. Of course, we're looking at every single avenue possible, but we have to be responsible. And I just think, saying stuff off the cuff could be very dangerous. And these are children. So we have to take that into consideration. Okay. So with that being said, anything I said, even if it upsets you or it causes some kind of emotion or passion about this case, don't go from here and direct it toward, one of the people involved like Sammy or Mags or Jagger. Let's leave the argument on the comments section on here on this channel. Let's don't go and take our thoughts and, I want to make sure that we're responsible because we have to realize these are children. These are children, guys. Okay. So, anyways, so the only real factual information is that we know that Mags rode with Kiely and left within 10 minutes once she saw her boyfriend. She was never planning. It sounds like to me that Mags staying at that party was never planned. She would the whole plan was her going there and meeting up with her boyfriend and leaving. Whatever they were doing, whatever. It just sounds like that was the plan. Mags was never going to be there. So Mags, if we're looking at these children, we've got to look at these children. I mean, people are accusing these children of rotten things, right? They're accusing of this whole conspiracy to hurt this young girl, which I'm not there yet. So if we have Jagger 4 hours away with his father, so he's got an alibi. I'm sure that law enforcement has, checked him out. And people are like, well, why aren't they, telling us that they've come up? They're not going to tell us, guys. This is not our first rodeo. We've got, Summer Wells. We've got Kylen Schulte, Crystal Turner. We've got Gabby Petito. We've got all these cases to use as a guide. And not one time in any of the cases that we have covered for the last year have we had law enforcement come out and say, oh, by the way, so-and-so is cleared, right? I at least to me, I have not yet heard that. So this idea that we're relying on law enforcement to tell us that this person's cleared, but this person isn't, it's not happening. Okay. They're not giving us that information. So just because everybody is still a suspect and all theories are on the table doesn't mean people are at the top of the list or haven't been vetted. Okay. We're just not being fed that information. But if Jagger's statements are true, which I don't know why he would come out publicly and say he was with his father 4 hours away, if that couldn't have been confirmed. And guys, we're not just saying that daddy came and said, oh, of course my son was with him. Everybody's got cell phones. Everybody's got, some form way of getting to be tracked. Okay. I'm sure law enforcement has acknowledged, at least to him and his family, they know he was 4 hours away. So we're removing Jagger as a putting him on the bottom of the list as somebody that could have been responsible for any harm to Kiely. Now you take Max. I mean, we're talking about three people, right? We're talking about Kiely. We're talking about Mags. We're talking about Sammy, and we're talking about Jagger. We just removed Jagger. Now let's look at Sammy and look at Max. It seems to me, I'll get right with you, Steph. Just give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Let me finish this point and I'll pull you up. Max was rode with Stephanie. Excuse me, sorry, Steph. Max rode with Kylie there with the onus that she was going to leave as soon as she saw her boyfriend. Or maybe her and her boyfriend would just mingle for a minute and then they were taking off. Either way, it was never stated that Max was going to be there. So now Max is no longer there. She left early on when they got to the party. So now you're removing her as a possibility because she left with her boyfriend. We can only imagine what, they were doing, but they left. Did they come back? We don't know. We don't know. Nobody has alleged that they came back. So we've got Jagger 4 hours away. We got Max that left 10 minutes after she got to the party. So now we have Kylie and Sammy. And according to Sammy's story, that they were out there, they kept going back to the car to charge. They would go mingle, go their separate ways, and come back together. That sounds like something I would have done at a party when I was there attending my friends. I would go over here. Oh, hey, Miss Daisy. Hope you're doing well. Sammy does seem shady. Yes, and I do believe that the drugs are involved. Absolutely. I do believe that. I just want to be careful, for me, I just want to be careful saying that because there's still a lot of possibilities out there that could have happened. But yeah, it does leave Sammy there, which kind of goes right with Miss Daisy. Sammy would be the only one out of those 3. If, did she have other people to help her? Okay, maybe. But it seems like that would be directed to Sammy. It doesn't seem like Mags, and people were talking about Mags and her face is breaking out and you can tell like there's bruising around them where she's just picking at them. So it could be that, she's an adolescent. She has an acne problem. Who doesn't at their age, right? So that could be the only thing that she has. Or it could be something else. Just because she's got marks on her face doesn't mean she's on, substances like meth. It just doesn't. There's a lot of people I know that have scarring on their face from acne that has never once done a drug in their life. Okay. So just put that. Steph, if you want to come back up, I'm ready to bring you back online. If you want to come back up, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for, you caught me right when you were, yeah, thank you. All right. Hey, girl.
Hey, sorry about that. I accidentally exit out of it.
It happens. I
Can
do
you
the
hear
same
me?
thing all the time, especially on my cell phone.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like this whole thing does seem weird to me. Like, where I live, we had like field parties.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be a bunch of us out there, like similar to this girls' party. Yeah. And I mean, I just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I lived in a different time. We weren't like that, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in the country, but I do still find it all weird. Like, I find it weird about the girl. I mean, is the girl really 18 or is she 22? Like, have we figured that out?
I have not. I thought she might have been younger because she doesn't really have a background profile. If she was
right,
18, it would have been easier for me to search for her. And I'm having a hard time getting a profile. So,
and then the other thing that bothers me is like the whole talk about the fight.
mm-hmm.
Like, it was just really strangely downplayed. Like, oh, we fight all the time.
Well,
and that's what we do.
You're from the country.
Exactly.
I'm part country, part city myself. And, I'm sorry, but my country boys, man, you get them tatered up.
True.
They get a little, rough, tough.
I've seen plenty girl fights. Plenty of girl fights. I mean, so it's just weird. And then I wonder too, like, okay, if the girl is really 22 and she's saying she's 18, is that where she's getting sketchy because she's afraid she's going to get in trouble because she supplied alcohol?
It's possible.
know?
That it could very well be possible she's scared. But she's also, appears to be going around and telling other people, they're not here to arrest you for child, stuff. Come and tell. And I think people were off-putted by the children asking, them to call them in leads. But
kids trust kids.
Don't think about stuff. They don't know the law. They don't know how it's processed. I'm pretty sure law enforcement said, no, please don't do that.
That, and a teenager's really only going to trust their peers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to trust an adult. I don't care how cool the adult is. They're just, or my other theory was too, are they covering for somebody's brother?
Right. Yeah.
Like somebody's older brother. That was my other theory.
Because we know that there's a lot of stuff out there, and nowadays there's a lot of stuff mixed with a lot of different stuff. I mean, you just don't know what you're purchasing this day and age. You just don't know. Even the people you're getting it from doesn't even really know.
You know what got? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
What got me was I think there's a lag on my thing, but what got me was yesterday I was in No Thanks chat. And somebody had said, and it really struck me in my heart, because I have a 9-year-old, 2 9-year-old twins and an 11-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was like, the drugs have changed. They're not what they were when we were kids or even our parents. And it hit me like, oh my gosh, this person's so right. And because I've met younger kids like at the bar, they're not kids, but they're like younger than me, but they're old enough to drink. And, they've told me about like how they're not scared of needles or they're not scared of like heroin. My whole generation of people, they're like, we're terrified of needles. We're terrified of like heroin and stuff. But now like the person put it out as like weeds for babies, alcohol's for babies. Mushrooms are for babies, acids, whatever. But now they're into like pharmaceuticals, fentanyl.
And that was another,
like that.
Yeah, be careful what you say on the channel. Yeah, because it'll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
but they're into other things versus
right.
other things. And that struck me.
I was also saying, even with mags, some of that could be from that could be indicative of pharmaceuticals.
Very well. Girls, I mean, I had the issue growing up when I was younger too. Like the body dysmorphication. A lot of girls who are younger who have that, they end up, being like pickers of their face. And you know what I mean? She could have that picking disorder. And it's my bad too, because I was one of the people that said that also. Yeah. And then I thought about it after you had said it. I'm like, oh man, she's right. It could be something different. Yeah. Hold on one second. Henry, that's enough. Sorry, my dog likes rocks and talks to him. But no, and it just, I don't know. It's really scary. Like as a parent and an adult to even think about that. Like my kids are young still, but I have to start thinking about, okay, so I need to be really careful because of what's going on in the world. And this whole case, this one really does get me bad. Because
I mean, it's just hard for me to believe, even with Sammy and her not being friends for very long, there's been times that I've met somebody through a friend and, we weren't friends very long and we stayed friends for many years.
True.
So, there's always a start to a friendship. I mean,
right. You can't just like, I agree with that. And honestly, before listening to you this morning, I was more on the bandwagon of, oh man, there's something nefarious going on here.
I am too. I was watching Dolly Vision this morning. I was watching, Ryan Upchurch. I was listening, I listened to Icknamel. I'm watching these things. I'm listening, there are some things that are, I have to admit that do throw up red flags. Yeah. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just not willing to go there yet with this limited amount of information.
And that's awesome of you. That's awesome of you. Cause here we all are like, oh no, with our pitchforks. She's gone. Right.
But, and you're like, oh, whoa, guys. That can explain a lot of this out if we just play the tape through. Like the inconsistent statements could be from a person that might have been close, if not blacked out. I mean, think about it.
Right.
We've all,
Exactly.
anybody that's had alcohol or has drank probably has experienced at least 1 or 2
I
times in
have.
the past a blackout. You've gone to some place, you didn't know what you did, whether you were fine or not.
Exactly.
I remember one time I was sitting here, or not here, it was at my other home. I was sitting there drinking. I was at home by myself. I drank a pitcher of margaritas. I was not.
Nice.
I wake up the next morning, I'm like, no big deal. And then my phone starts going off and it's like, oh, you left this here. I'm like, what do you mean I left this here?
I left?
And I look out the window, and sure enough, my car is not parked in the same spot it was. I'm like,
I would be freaking out.
I did freak out. And
see, I've done that though too, not driven my car, but like I've looked at my friend, I had a big party time, and I remember getting up a few times and looking at her going, oh, what happened at the end of the night? I don't remember coming home, and she'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And, that's a very sinking feeling, to wake up and not realize like what time or, what happened at the end of the night.
Right.
So I get it. And I'm really glad that I listened to you this morning, because like I said, I was on the bandwagon of everything, on the other side. Like now I'm like,
yeah, but there's just, there is another explanation. And I just, if I would be more inclined to look at it, but these kids are young. I'm not saying that young kids can't do bad things. And
right.
I'm looking at these kids, they got nose rings, tattoos, they're wearing, goth looking clothes, but that doesn't mean you're evil.
No.
It just doesn't. And when you start putting, like I'm putting these pieces together mentally, obviously in a different way than most people, because I'm looking at this and I'm saying, can this be explained? Everything that comes up, right. I'm saying, can this be explained? And it's like, if I have another explanation for it, then, I'm on that. The bottom line
I
is,
really do like that you're not jumping down the rabbit hole and immediately blaming them. I think I really commend you for that.
Yeah,
like,
I just think it's, at this point, it's unnecessary, because she could have legitimately, if we take the pieces, like if we look at it and we take certain things as fact, like people are even saying the text messages may never even have come from her.
Right.
They may have. So if we take those text messages to her mother as fact, that she was with her phone, she sent her mother a text message, she was planning on leaving that party, and it was Sammy that chose not to ride with her. Maybe she saw some friends, because remember, Sammy and her weren't, they were friends, but they just started hanging out. They're just exploring this new friendship. Maybe Sammy,
right. And I've left without my ride and went with somebody else before too. I mean, I get that.
Right. Because maybe you're just ready to go and the other person isn't, because we've all had that other friend, right? That they get a little bit of drinks and they're the social butterfly. You can't peel them away from there. And you're sitting there, ready to go.
I got to go to work tomorrow.
You're exhausted. You want to go to bed. And your friend is just out there and just does not want to go. Just not ready to go. You go home. I will find a ride. I will sleep in my car, or I'll drive myself when I sober up. Just go home.
Right.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm fine. Really, I'm fine. Seriously, just go.
And what are you going to do after a while? You're like, all right, friend, fine.
Right. So I keep listening to this and I keep trying to figure out, does this make sense to me? Could this be something else? And I'm sorry. I just, right now.
I agree with you. I agree
that she got in her car. I think she got in her car when everybody was partying. I think she walked out to the parking lot. The reason why nobody was paying attention to her, because they were probably all listening to loud music. They were drunk off their ass. And nobody was paying attention. It could just be just that simple.
But the one thing that does strike me odd is that lady last night that called Dolly. I don't know how much you listen to Dolly's show, but there was a lady that called, and I actually don't even remember which show, because he did 2 shows yesterday. She called and she talked about, like, she was there, and something about a bunch of cars started piling in about like 10:30.
Yeah.
And then they abruptly started piling out at 12:30.
Yes.
That's the
and
one
so,
thing I find
and
odd.
she could have been part of that caravan without anybody even knowing. Let's think
True.
about it. It's a silver Honda CRV, a very popular make and model. And Susiana was just here. And though, from a distance, you could tell like her SUV's much newer than my SUV, but from a distance, you really can't tell the make and model of either one of ours.
Right.
So
And are those pretty big cars?
the SUVs, yeah, they're SUVs. They're
Right.
like
That's what I was thinking. It wasn't a small
a Ford Explorer.
Okay, that's kind of what I was going with. So if it got sunk into the lake, it shouldn't be like hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, well, depending on where she went off. Like some people were talking about, now I have not been out in this area. I don't know what these roads look like. I don't know how, close these lakes are. I mean, let's be honest. Most of us are going off Google Maps and Google Earth.
True.
To
And
determine
other people's opinion.
different things. So we're not really seeing what's there.
Right.
But people are talking about, well, I don't see how I have driven, and I'll tell you guys a story. Olivia, Mom, and I were driving in Tennessee, and we were driving to one of the cemeteries. I think we were heading to the cemetery where Don's mother was buried, which is further away from his home. It wasn't the one across the street from his house. And so we're all driving there. Jonathan has a lead foot, so he's in front of us quite a bit. And this Mustang that passed them wasn't paying attention and veers into our lane. We thought, and there's a cliff. Oh. There is no barrier between that road and going straight down. Oh. And if it wasn't for Mom, I guarantee if I was behind that wheel, we would have been off that cliff. Mom was behind the wheel. She was able to get over.
That's scary.
The Mustang corrected itself. We almost died. And I'm telling you, like, I felt the pins and needles from the top of my head down to the bottom.
Life flash before your eyes type of situation, huh?
Oh, and God. I keep thinking, how easily, and had nobody been there, nobody would have known we went off that cliff.
You're absolutely right. I mean, there was a peer that I went to school with, and this just happened probably maybe 5 years ago. She came up missing. And, it was all over, she didn't come up missing in where I live in Michigan. She came up missing in California. And, it was a big deal here in amongst my peer group, and classmates I had. And then it came out a week later that it wasn't foul play. It was nothing. She wasn't drunk or on drugs, but something happened. Like she dodged an animal or a car veered out in front of her, like it did with you. And she went over a cliff in California, over one of those mountains. And they found her car and her in her car a week later. Yeah. So you're very well. Like when I had heard that also, and I had thought about that girl I went to school with. And so, I mean, it's very, very possible. Like I've never been to California, so I didn't know there was like a bunch of mountains like that there. Mm-hmm. Like I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, I just don't. Like I know Tennessee has mountains and, Colorado and stuff, but right. And I don't ever plan to go out that way.
Yeah. And James, sonar works, but like the aerial stuff, the radar and stuff from aerial stuff, if there's a lot of brush or thick debris, it's not, and what type of sonar they're using, what the depth it is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that even that needs to be questioned. And what if they're looking in the wrong body of water?
That's what I had said too. And that same lady that had called, had talked about what you're talking about, like with the aerials and stuff like that. She said if her car is hidden out in those like woodsy forest area, they're not going to see it from aerial view because I guess it's so thick out there and it's so foresty. There's no way you're going to see it from the sky. And then I read in a chat that somebody said that they did have dive teams out there. They did run the sonar. like a fish sonars and stuff like that. But they didn't say which lake. They didn't say if it was both lakes. They didn't say how
and there's
far.
also smaller bodies of water that's in and around that area. That's not, you know, there are
But is it
smaller
deep enough to
bodies of
sink
water that
a
can still
car?
engulf the vehicle.
But I mean, that's what I'm asking. Are they all deep enough to sink a car?
Yeah. And then not only that, but I was looking even at her place. Let me see if I can pull this back up. Even her place where she lives, it's thick. It's thick, you know, brush in and around.
That's what that lady said.
You know,
she said that whole area is very brushy.
Yeah, I mean, it's foresty.
And she said the map doesn't show that. She said it's exactly what you're all going off Google Maps.
I mean, there's a lot of forest-like, you know.
And another thing, if somebody, let's say somebody did pick her up.
Here's a road right here. This is not too bad.
Her from the party. Chop Shop would have chopped that car up by now, and it's already gone.
Yeah.
Especially in California.
Yeah, I agree. You know, some people think it's going to be put into a, you know, that somebody parked it in a thing. I'm just not there yet. I just think that there's a lot of rugged terrain around here. There's a lot of greenery. There's a lot of thick brush. There's a lot of different types of lakes. There's bodies of water around here. Did she go back to Dr. Phil? Did she go off? You know, are we even looking in the right area? Because, you know, did she, again, turn the wrong way? She was inebriated.
Right. And like Dr. Phil says, I mean, I know a lot of people give him a lot of slack, but I mean, I've learned a lot from him. I don't care. Yeah. But, you know, he says like teenagers are not capable of making decisions, like not real ones, because their brain, their frontal lobes are not fully developed.
They're not fully developed.
If she got in her car, you know, everybody knows not to drink and drive, but her house is only like a couple minutes away from there, correct?
It's about a 30-minute drive.
Right. And gutsy teenagers who have no frontal lobe cortex, whatever, like they're going to be like, oh, I can drive, you know?
Well, you got to think, even the smartest person, I mean, I have met some pretty damn smart people, and you give them some alcohol and they become the stupidest people you ever care to be around. So, you know, even her friends, like, she's smart enough to do this, you know, and her mom tells a story about how she needed to be picked up. And she's like, well, Mom, I'm sorry, I've been drinking. So her mom even knew that she's had alcoholic beverages in the past. You know, she was giving this example of why she believes her daughter, but was her daughter inebriated to the point where she wasn't making proper decisions? She may have been drinking and may have just been tipsy and still had, you know, still thinking properly.
Right. You know? You get gutsy.
And then when you get to a point of complete inebriation, or you're doing shots and 20 minutes later, all that alcohol hits you, you know, she was drinking this entire time nonstop, the whole time she was there. She's not, the alcohol is not going to really hit her until she's on her way home. And that's
exactly. I mean, how many times have you drank like Jello shots, for instance, and you ate like 100 of them or whatever, and then all of a sudden 2 hours later you are so drunk you don't even know why.
Right.
You know, I don't even do Jello shots because of that, but I get exactly what you're saying. And like I said, I'm so glad that I was on this morning, because you really did make me think a little differently today.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't have anything to do.
I know. I know.
It could be a very planned and executed child conspiracy. We've seen it happen.
But it could be exactly a very terrible, bad choice of an accident.
Yeah. And then you think about the pressure that's coming from social media on these children that had nothing. Like, we're beating up Jagger, which was 4 hours away and with his father at the time this whole this entire thing happened. He literally had no part in it. Now the other flip side could be, well, he helped plan it. Okay, well, maybe he did.
4 hours away.
But he definitely wasn't there. He definitely wasn't partaking in an abduction of his girlfriend. He was too far away. And people aren't taking that into consideration, and you know, because they don't have all the facts.
The one thing that gets me too, though, is they're giving these kids way too much credit of planning and
Right.
developing this plan. Now, when I had thought that, like, somebody was like, yeah, Sammy, she set up all this stuff just so she's the ringleader, and she set up these
And these are
meetings and
people that have never spoken to not one of these people.
right. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, these are kids. Like, I can't even think that, okay, I'm gonna get this girl and I'm gonna bring her here and we're gonna do this, but then we're gonna set up these meetings. I mean, I don't know. You're not thinking that deeply in nefarious issues. I just don't think you are.
Right.
You know, and even if it was like something bad happened and spot of the moment they're thinking of stuff, you're still not coercing that gem of a plan.
Right.
You're just not. Like, I think they're giving these kids way too much credit for planning the world's greatest crime.
Yeah. And
I
so
mean, it's
just to answer Susanna's question, the reason why we know that is because many people aren't paying attention to the social media aspect of this. And on his, I believe it was his Instagram, he shut down all comments on his Instagram.
yeah,
He actually came out and said, look, you guys are attacking me. And I was 4 hours away. He came out and actually made a statement because of how he
really,
was being treated. And he actually stated that he, and he explained a lot of stuff. Like, he explained why he was asking for the phone number. He said he took that post completely off from his Instagram page. He's locked down his comments on there, and he came out and said, look, guys, I realize you guys, I don't know verbatim what he said, but he basically
right.
said, look, I was with my father. I was 4 hours away. I didn't even go. Like, I was nowhere in the area. So,
and he just accidentally said, hey, hit me up if you know something. I mean,
yeah.
I get that.
And he made the mistake of putting his actual phone number on the original post.
Oh, Lord.
So we can only imagine the nasty grams, the text messages, the phone calls, the voicemail
from the world
this young boy got. And again, I'm trying to be factual, and I'm trying to make sure that and in all fairness, my first thought was when I read this whole story, my first thought was that she got behind the wheel and drove. Now, we don't know that to be true.
That was mine too.
And
actually.
while I do not believe that her friends concocted this scenario that to cause her harm, there is the possibility that there was a creep at this party. And to me, it would be more probable for me to believe that some creep she didn't know took advantage of her, as opposed to her friends concocting this elaborate plan to get her gone.
Right. And are we mistaking Sammy? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, are we mistaking Sammy by like saying she's guilty for guilt of not meeting up with her friend that night? Because of every girl knows the buddy system. Every girl knows.
Yes, but teenagers
you don't leave your lady.
Thinking. We've got to take into consideration, in my opinion, that both the girls were pretty damn intoxicated.
Right. So maybe that's what we're reading off this Sammy girl is. It's not guilt of something that she physically did something to her. It's guilt of her not being with her when she said she was going to. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if that, like my friend, when I was drinking all the time, my friend got roofied. And I was able to quickly recognize that she was not, like, I've seen this girl drunk to point of no return, but never did I ever see her act that way on the drinks that she had that night. And I seen these guys all over her. I run up in there and I'm like, get off her. And they're like, bah. And I'm like, rah. And
that comes with life experience, in my opinion. You learn this. I bet you none of those kids will ever leave their friend again. And it took something happening to my friend before, we took life a little more seriously. But these young kids, they just don't think of the possibilities of these risks that they take. None of us.
And when we don't, and I'm saying this happened as an adult. So, I was but as a teenager, would I have been able to recognize that? Probably not. Probably not. But at 30, I was able to be like, oh man, my friend's not right. And these guys are all over her. So I was able to save her. But, you know, and that's where I'm coming at. Like, if I would have not saved my friend that night, and I would have been like, oh man, she's just drunk and whatever, and something bad happened to her, I would have felt guilty for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna let you continue talking. I'm gonna take just a small little break. I can hear you. Just keep talking.
You're good. But that's what I mean. I just would have been guilt ridden forever, So that's what I think. Like maybe we are reading Sammy wrong. Maybe this is just guilt. Maybe she's one of those like go-getter girls and those girls that does take lead and says, hey, no, I know you guys are scared to go talk to law enforcement. I know you guys are scared to go talk to your parents. Come talk to me. I can see that. So you're right. Like putting so much emphasis in something bad happened on their account. Maybe we are wrong. Maybe we should be looking at this from all different angles versus one. And that's our fault as adults and these true crime TV watcher people, because I set my old man down last night and I was like, listen, I might watch way too much true crime, but I'm going to tell you right now, we need to watch our children, like we need to make sure they're never outside alone. We need to put them in a bubble. Like, and I watch way too much true crime sometimes and I'll freak myself out. But at the same time, it does make me much more of a, I guess, helicopter parent in a way, because I worry about leaving my kids out. So I live on a main highway and I worry about somebody, just coming in and trying to snatch my kids.
I guarantee you that people right now have, teenagers or even 20 somethings or adults. Like I'm turning 43 next month. And I guarantee my mom still worries about me on a daily. I don't think that ever really goes away for moms or dads,
let's say I go to the bar tonight and my mom knows, she will not, and she's like 65. She will not go to bed until I call her and tell her I made it home safe.
Right.
To this day. Yeah. She'll call me at like 4 a.m. and be like, you didn't call me. Are you home? And I'm like, man, I've been home since midnight. Why are you calling me? I needed to know you were safe. I couldn't sleep. And that's how my mom is too. And that's another thing that kind of bothers me too. Like, did the mom really trust her daughter that much that she just went to sleep? I mean, yeah, probably. I mean,
there's parents that do. I mean, you got to think, I'm also looking at that aspect too. Her mom, she's 16 years old. She's graduating in high school. So that means she was an above average student, to graduate a couple years earlier than the rest of her class. So, she was, probably her parents did trust
give her a little bit more trust.
Yeah, to do and make her own decisions, because she was making, very good decisions. And just because a person is, again, a smart person doesn't mean that they don't make a stupid decision. And sometimes those stupid decisions have lasting consequences.
I say my ex-husband is the smartest dumb guy in the world, because he's extremely smart. He's very smart. But at the same time, he makes very stupid decisions, So I mean, I get that too. He doesn't have a sixth sense. He can't read people, and he can't read the world, I guess is better to put it. But you're absolutely right. You got smart people out there that make dumb decisions, and then you got people who are too street smart, like other cases. And they make
Don Wells comes to mind. Just saying.
What was that?
I said Don Wells comes to mind.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of too, actually. But I don't know. I was just offsetting it. But yeah, no, like they're very street smart people, but made bad decisions. And look at their conduct of, because they're not smart on the other end of life. So, they mismanage their words. They like, because I still don't, I mean, I agree with some other creators too. Like, as much as I want to say, and I know we're talking about Kylie, but
Mhm.
as much as I want to say, like, yes, Don and Candace did something, blah, 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 there really isn't any facts. Like, there
Right.
isn't no definite proof of anything except for the fact that Summer is gone. That's the only thing that we have. And the fact that Don did some other things. And, there's facts of things, but there's all these other things that everybody's running with. There's no facts. And so I get that. I really get that. And that's where I need to start like looking into about anything is
Mhm.
you really need to go off facts and truth and not. And my dad always told me that you're never wrong if you're going off facts and truth. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, I really do need to start doing that. But yeah, I mean,
It's
smart
hard
people
not to
make
get
bad
swept up in
decisions.
emotions, and that's where I'm at right now. Is I'm trying very hard not to get swept up in the emotions of it because there are some inconsistent statements. There's adults coming out trying to tell people not to cooperate with law enforcement because
Now
they don't
that's
want to
weird.
get their own hide in trouble. And the law enforcement, they don't care. You know what's going to end up happening is those adults that are actively trying to stop the information, they will start looking at you. They're giving you a
Right.
free pass. Open your damn mouth and
But
help.
why are the adults stopping?
You get a
Why are
free
they
pass.
stopping
Law
it?
enforcement has said you get a free pass. Take the free pass. Help them.
Do you really think it's a free pass though?
I do.
Okay. I mean,
I believe, you know what? The only time I ever see law enforcement, because remember, they have the duty to either choose to charge or not charge. And
that's
I'm
true.
sorry, but you stop cooperating or you cause them to have to jump through hoops. Trust me, they're going to make you pay for that. You
True.
cooperate with them, they're going to let you slide because they told you they'd let
True.
you slide.
That's true. I mean, yeah, that's very true. That's
And
very
you know what,
true.
adults, if you need an immunity agreement, get that, because an immunity agreement will protect you as long as you're 100% honest with everything you did. You walk. If that's what your concern is,
Right.
have your attorney draft an immunity agreement, and you're safe no matter what you say, as long as it's truthful. You
But
can't be
why?
charged with it.
But why are some parents like saying don't talk, or don't share
I
your
don't think it's
pictures?
the parents. Remember, this was a
No,
large party that had college kids going to it and
that's true.
some
That's true.
adults, and maybe the adults were the ones that were supplying things out there that they shouldn't have been. And they're
Like
concerned,
someone's brother. That's
and
I
there's
don't know why I keep
concern
getting
that
that.
it's going to now bring law enforcement's attention to them. Look, there's a missing girl. You already got
Right.
law enforcement's attention if you were out there. No need
Well,
to
how
make
many?
the situation worse.
Well, how many parties? I mean, this isn't a common thing, but I mean, there has been parties.
Yeah, it's
You've
common
heard
to
about
have
that
parties in
that were
that
great,
location.
but they went bad. One of my best friends told me nothing good happens after midnight, Steph. Nothing good happens after midnight. You go home at midnight.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a true statement. Sometimes nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah.
That's when the bad people are out. So he told me. I'm like, what? But I don't know. It's just all weird. All these cases are just so weird. I just,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
Julia T brings up a good point. She says, or somebody made a bad decision for Kylie. And this is another angle that I had thought about whenever I was talking about her taking the wrong turn. What if she really did get into a vehicle with somebody and somebody was driving her to their location, whether it was a male or a female? I'm not,
in her car.
nothing nefarious. But again, looking in the wrong direction, because what if that person on their way to their home went off or went into the water?
Right. Or
You
like,
know,
hey, girl, I'll drive your car. I'm more sober.
right.
And you can come back with me and then just drive your car home in the morning,
Car home
or
in the
drive
morning.
me home and then drive yourself home. I live only a couple minutes from you.
Right.
I mean, you've brought so many great valid points today. You have really made it where I'm like, okay,
I mean,
this might
there's
not.
just other things. Let's hold off on the attacks on the children and get, some good footing as to what really happened, because everything is speculative, and let's just think of it like this. What if we 9,000 people went and attacked Sammy, Mags, and Jagger, and
Look,
we
go quiet.
find out that she is, 18 miles away from where she was supposed to be, and her car is in a tree, and she's severely dehydrated, or, something.
Right.
We're all 9,000 people that just went and attacked those kids. would feel bad. And then now let's take it a step further. What if, say, somebody like Mags, which is one of her dear friends, decides that she just can't handle all the hate and decides to take things in her own hands because she's not thinking clearly. She just lost a friend. Do we really want to be a part of that? And I can foresee something like that happening. I don't want, I need more information.
Back to kids' brains are not capable of making a decision. So in that type of situation, they're going to be quick to think, like, I'm just, I can't handle it. Like you said,
they're
right?
just
Without thinking further.
So it's just, I think life experience in this particular scenario is kind of kicking in for me because I've lived it. I had a friend that had to spend over a decade in prison because he was driving a car, again, similar situation. They were out at a party out, 30, 40 minutes away from home out east, and they were taking a corner. They were all intoxicated. My friend, the car hit a tree. Another one of my friends didn't make it. My friend spent 10 years in jail over him driving.
That happened here too. I mean, there was a group of my friends, and same thing, in a car, driving drunk, coming back from the bar. Well, they said a cop in my town was chasing them. He's like one of those cops. I don't really know the truth, but they hit a tree head on, and three of them died. Two of them made it.
Only
I don't know if anybody went to jail. Oh no, nobody went to jail because the driver.
My friend did. He did. And,
I think the driver probably would have went to jail, but he had passed away. So, and that's why. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not saying I've never driven drinking, but that's the one thing I've always been pretty stickler on. But my mom, I mean, say she's a good mom, say she's a bad mom, I don't know. I would probably do it for my kids too. But my mom told me when I was like 16, when I started going to parties, 15, 16, and when she got caught wind of it, really, she was like, listen, Steph, I don't want you drinking, but you're going to, and I know you will, but don't you ever feel scared to call me and to come get you. I will come get you anywhere you are, no matter what, to make sure you're safe. And I took that seriously. And I did. I had called my mom at 16 to now. I mean, she don't live here now. She moved to Ohio. But, I called her at 30 going, hey, Mom, come get me. I'm over here. She came and got me in a whole other town before. Mad, but she came and got me. So, I mean, good or bad, I don't know. I always had my mom. And so I've always... Even after she left, I still took it very seriously, and I wouldn't drive drunk. But one time I did. And I'm going to tell you, I was scared to death. It was just 4 miles, but I was scared.
Yeah.
And it can I could see how somebody can get in a car accident.
Well, they say the majority of fatal accidents happen within 5 miles of your home.
Exactly. And that is what my mother told me the next day when she seen my car in my driveway. She was like, Stephanie. And I'm like, I was so close to home. And that's exactly what she said. She said 5 to 10 miles, but 5 miles is what I heard. And
I think it also is dependent upon population. Like here, the studies within 5 miles, maybe in maybe in New Mexico,
I'm pretty rural,
20 miles, or because they live further away from each other. But yeah, I mean. Anyways, well, Steph, I'm going to get on with the.
Me too. I can hear my kids stirring up. That's all I was just ready to say. I better get going before they come out here and start being loud. Traffic was loud enough, and the dog talking to the rocks, but the kids are louder. Well, it was so nice jumping up today and talking to you all. Have a wonderful Monday.
You too, love. Have a great day.
Bye.
So, I mean, again, I'm not saying the kids didn't do anything to her. It very well may be what people may be picking up on these little slides of the information and stuff like that. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion about this. It's just that for me, it's a hard stretch for me to have because I know the bond between kids. It's not that it has never happened before. We know it has. We've I mean, even let's look at the, for example, the Texas cadet killings. Kind of a similar scenario where the girlfriend, there was a love triangle. The girlfriend made the boyfriend go through with taking the ex out of the picture. And it wasn't until many years later that they were finally charged and arrested for that young girl's death. So, I mean, it's not uncommon that young kids can do some really, really terrible, despicable things. So I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying for me, there's not enough information for me to now say, this is the angle we're going to go. Does it look that way? Yes, things don't look good on the surface, but that doesn't mean anything. It really just doesn't. So, I'm not sure how you guys feel. I just know for me. So we're going to listen to an ad because I had these up on my phone, but that's not going to happen.
Yes, another IT conference?
I'm going to be back in a couple days, Tom. Let's throw a rager.
What's happening?
Step into the spotlight.
Whoa, your dad's a superhero.
That actually looks like a cool movie.
What are you going to do? Tickle torture me?
Dude, that was too long. That was way too long.
Come on. Sorry, guys. Usually I have all this stuff.
Prosser County are investigating the disappearance of a 16-year-old girl in Truckee as a possible abduction. Thanks so much for joining us at 5 o'clock on this busy news day. I'm Elizabeth Kling.
And I'm Curtis Ming. We're streaming right now on CBS News Sacramento. Now, her name is Kiely Rodni, and she was last seen early Saturday morning at a party near the Prosser Family Campground in Truckee. Friends and family are out there right now searching for her.
CBS 13 Steve Large joins us live now near Truckee with the very latest on this case. Steve.
Yeah, live at the Truckee Community Center that has been turned into a kind of a makeshift command center for all these volunteers that have showed up searching for Kiely Rodni. And you can see there's been hugs. There's lots of T-shirts saying "Fine."
That's also another thing. They do have searches out there. Sorry.
Lots of food. People out here for a third full day searching for Kiely Rodni. We want to show you her picture once again right now. And here is a look at Kiely Rodni, 16 years old. 5'7", 118 pounds, blonde hair, and Placer County Sheriff's Office says they're treating this like an abduction because her car also has not been found. We'll get into that more in just a bit, but let's show you some video from around this area where volunteers and search and rescue crews have been scouring the entire area around Prosser Campground, where she was last seen at about midnight Friday. She was at a senior farewell party. We also had the opportunity to talk to her mother. Of course, a very difficult time for her mom. Here's what she had to say earlier today.
It was at 11:30. She told me that she was leaving in 45 minutes and going to be on her way home. I'm a terrible mother. I slept. I said, wake me up when you come home. And then I woke up at 8 a.m. and realized she hadn't woken me up. She's so responsible. She always checks in. She always texts me when.
And this is another thing, this mom, she feels like a horrible mother because she fell asleep. My heart just bleeds for her. It really does. And I've got other videos of mom just breaking down. She's doing very good at this point.
When she's out and lets me know, even checking in multiple times a night, even when she's out with friends.
Her mother beating herself up here. Now, you can imagine just what she is going through, the anguish as this turns into day 3 of her daughter missing. Want to show you the picture.
But this is a common vehicle. Whenever I am on the road, I literally see this vehicle. It's a CRV. This is a very popular make, model, and color of this vehicle.
Picture of her vehicle and her license plate. It's California license plate number 8YUR127. It's a silver Honda CRV. Now, notably, the CHP has not issued an Amber Alert in this case because they are saying that this is not a credible abduction at this point. They have.
So, guys, that is the facts. This is not a credible abduction yet. We heard from law enforcement early on. I think it was at press conference 1 or press conference 2, state that the only reason why they have classified this as a potential abduction is because they don't know where the vehicle is. That is the only reason. So we have to take into consideration some of these things. And also the fact that, and we also have to take into consideration law enforcement doesn't have to be honest. But I can't imagine that if an abductor was on the loose, that they would be letting people know that the only reason why they think they flagged this as an abduction is simply because they can't locate the vehicle. So all avenues are being explored, Lex reminds us.
No proof, according to their own threshold, that this, in fact, is an abduction. And one of the 4 criteria that the Amber Alert system needs is that proof of an abduction and also proof that a victim could be in imminent danger. The CHP, at least for their part, is saying that criteria has not been met. The Placer County Sheriff, they're saying that they are treating this as if she has been abducted because they can't find her vehicle. And as a result of treating it that way and putting this out there in that manner, the FBI is now also involved in the search for Kiely Rodni right now.
And now we have 3 different agencies involved. In one of those pictures there you saw, she had her cell phone in her hand. You have to wonder, have they pinged her cell phone anywhere around the area, Steve?
Yeah, they have not been able to find any activation of her cell phone since that party that night. So again, that was Friday midnight. Her mom said that she had got that call. I know that she also made a call to a friend. So right around that time is the last time the cell phone ping has been located.
All right, Steve, thank you very much.
So that was one.
As droughts get worse, it's clear that it will be less expensive.
That was one of them. Again, great information. This came out early on. I put these in order of the newest to the oldest. So give me just a second while this one, we're going to have to I had all these things without the advertisements on it, but whenever I load them in here, that goes away where I saved them on my phone. So I'm not sure why this is not coming in very well. Hold on a second. There's a few stories that I sent just to give us an update, and there's several of them that have videos attached to them. Here's the one. So give it just a second.
So we have started to hold teen talks, which is where teens are able to come and talk to us as facilitators and just able to be there without the pressure of parents, the pressure of media, the pressure of adults and police, so that they feel more comfortable talking with another teen to come forward and maybe share some information.
And this is what people had a problem with, is that these kids are kind of taking this into in their own hands to try to get this information to relay it to law enforcement. And a lot of people are having a problem with this, because especially if you think that either one of these girls had something to do with this, you are, it makes it uncomfortable to think that somebody that might have something to do with the disappearance of a person would be in the process of trying to get people out. But I mean, Magdalene's face, I'm sorry. She looks visibly upset over what is happening. She almost looks in shock to me. And yeah, so oldest to newest videos. So that means I put them in order. So the videos that came out like August 8th would be first, and then we'd go back to like, say, August 12th or something like that. That's what I meant, Lex, just to let you know. Good morning, Sherry. So in this particular scenario, if you think these girls were involved, first of all, Magdalene here she left. She left the party. The only person that was really left in the whole Jagger, Maggie, Sammy is Sammy. And I'm just not getting the vibe that they are responsible. I'm getting the vibe that they're truly trying to help find out what happened to their friend. That's the vibe I'm getting. Again, the inconsistent statements could be chalked up to them being intoxicated, folks. I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure that stuff just isn't clear. I could be reading this all wrong. I could be standing alone. I could be the Cam and Alley of the Rodni case, right? So it's just but that's just my thoughts so far.
That they were scared to before this. Yeah, so we've been trying to move to get closer to the areas where the other teenagers that were at the party have been for these teen talks, and the one that we just had in Tahoe City was by far like the biggest showing of kids that we've had. We probably had somewhere between like 50 and 70 kids show up. And they all, like, everybody helped us. All the information that we got was good, and helped us move further. Yeah, we've really made progress with the information that we've gotten. Yeah, so we're planning on having as many of these as it takes to get in contact with anybody who may have been at the party. Whether that means we have to travel to Reno, to Incline, to South Tahoe, wherever we can to talk to kids. We're offering rides now. For kids who may not be able to get out, we're asking parents to allow their kids to attend these meetings, as it is crucial to this. And we will do anything. We offer food, we offer snacks. Every interviewer is comfortable and a safe person to go to. And we're not trying to get anybody in trouble. We're just trying to get more information. And with the help of the community, we're going to find her, and everybody has been incredibly supportive. And that we are going to find Kylie with the help of our community, but only with the help of our community.
So again, guys, I'm just not wholly convinced that. Sorry. I'm just not wholly convinced that this. I don't know. I'm gonna have your guys' insight on this, because I'm telling you, I just don't see it. I just don't. I don't. Let me just go through some of my notes here and make sure. Oh, we're gonna get to the hoodie. I'm gonna show you guys that. The adults discouraging the cooperation of the people out there is a problem for me. So Jagger, he's still wanting to call him Jaeger. Jagger never dated Sammy. It came out that Jagger never dated Sammy. People have been speculating that Sammy and Jagger were together or had a relationship or had an affair or had, whatever. Jagger, as well as many other people, are coming out and stating that is not true. That is not true. So, and we have no evidence of that being true. We have somebody that thinks that that might be true, peddling that as truth, that we're all sitting here saying that they dated. They never dated. So we've got Jagger 4 hours away, Magdalene that left with her boyfriend. And the reason why we think Sammy is potentially responsible for this is because we believe she had a relationship with Jagger. Well, if that relationship never happened, what motive does she have to want to hurt her friend? Again, I'm just trying to break this down for you guys to see where my position is coming from. And yeah, and people can't care and people can't talk and everything like that. But let's think of it like this. What if she was with the caravan of cars that came in around 10 or 10:30? And the reason why we know about that time is because there are campers that are in Prosser Campground that are out by the lake that actually came and did an article and spoke to media about how, because they were asking, well, didn't this party bother you? Wasn't there a lot of noise? And they said, to be honest with you, they didn't hear the party going on out there, that the only way they knew something was going on is because they saw the caravan of vehicles coming in and another caravan of vehicles leaving. At what time? 12:30. What time did her phone go off? 12:33 was the last time that phone was active, according to law enforcement. Right? So it just seems like I just feel like she got in that car and left. I really do. That would have been the time that she was leaving. That's the time she told her mom she would be leaving to start heading home. It just all kind of fits in with if everything was taken as true, the text messages, where Jagger was, where Magdalene was, where Sammy was, if everything that we're hearing is true, then it would appear, in my opinion, that she got behind the wheel or had somebody else drive her. Either way, I still kind of feel like the same thing. But again, I'm not discrediting the fact that there has been inconsistent statements from the kids. I do agree with that. That's a little concerning for me as well. I'm just not ready to start pointing the finger just yet. I want some more information, me personally. Adventures with a Purpose actually stated that they are working on something that they, they said if this is not resolved within the next month, they will probably make a trip back out there. They had searchers in the water. Again, I don't know if they're searching the correct body of water. It doesn't seem like that they would be. And Magdalene's sister has confirmed that Magdalene as well as Kiely went to the party together. So we know that Magdalene did show up at the party with Kiely. We know that the last known screenshot of Kiely was at 6:08 p.m. on August 5th. And at 12:33 a.m. on August 6th, the phone went off. And that was the last that they had. And then, of course, I wrote down here, Sammy's story changes, ? Could this be due to alcohol? So those are kind of my notes as I've been previewing this entire case and scenario. There are some odd things that are going on. There are some things that are, giving red flags. I get the points. I get why people are speculating that there's more to this. But the more that people speculate that there's more to this, sometimes I feel like going back to the beginning and looking at this and seeing if those things can be properly explained away. Some of them can't. Some of them can. So her cell phone went dead and became virtually untraceable shortly after that. That's what placed her. So it says her phone has been out of service since then. Let's go back up here. Let me just read. I'll read this one article to you. Actually, I'll just share it and we can read it together. So it says Truckee, California. Lindsay Rodni Neiman got a text late Friday night that her teenage daughter saying she was planning on leaving the party at about 45 minutes and heading straight home. I told her to be safe. I loved her. And she said, okay, love you, mom. Or okay, mom, I love you too. Now, I would have to think that if the mom didn't think that this was the speech pattern of her daughter, the mom would have felt something was off with this text message. The mom did not feel that way. So because of that, I'm going to, for my purposes only, am going to conclude for myself that most likely she made that text message. It was such a simple, a benign text message. Could somebody else have written it for her? Maybe somebody that knew her? Absolutely. I'm not discrediting that. Kiely Rodni, 16, was last seen early Saturday morning around 12:30 a.m. local time near Prosser Family Campground in the small northern county town of Truckee, some 20 miles north of Lake Tahoe. She was at a party with upwards of 300 people when she vanished along with her vehicle, a silver 2013 Honda CRV with California license plates. I'm wondering, I have OnStar in my 2011 Chevy Equinox, and this is a Honda CRV. I'm wondering if they were able to check or in the process of checking the onboard data from that vehicle to help with location of where she was the last time the vehicle was powered on. that's interesting for me as well. I would like to know the information of that, if they've been able to get that, and if and when that will be released to the public. They're also stating that her phone had been out of service since around that 2:30 time area, again, around. So there's some questions about it being powered off at 12:33, and the friend saying that she received a call or a text at 12:35. The friend could have been mistaken or looked at a clock on a car instead of the clock on her phone. Clocks on the car have a habit of either going a little too fast or a little too slow. So she may, that's still explainable. It was very near the time she last spoke to her. So it's very explainable as to why that would have been off a couple of minutes. So let's see if there's anything else in this article that's important. Her cell phone went dead and became virtually untraceable shortly after that. The public information officer for Placer County Sheriff's Office told ABC in this particular article. When Rodney's mother awoke the morning to find her daughter still not home and her car missing from the driveway, panic began to set in. She said she began to call and text her and didn't receive an answer. That's when she knew something was terribly wrong. She said she didn't believe her daughter ran away because all of her clothes, belongings are still there. I would have to conclude that I personally do not believe this child ran away. I do not believe that at all. I believe something, an accident happened, or something nefarious happened. There's no other option that has perked my mind. In my opinion, it is black and white as that. It was either an accident or something nefarious. There's, it's a stretch, but it's one or the other, in my opinion. Could it be a combination of both of them? Potentially. There were substances out there. Many people have speculated that she could have OD'd out there. That is probable. Something could have happened to her. But to me, if it was something like an OD, it seems like there would have been a lot of people that would have known that happening. And with 300 people, I have to believe there were multiple people that would not keep something like that a secret. Just because a few kids know how to keep their mouth shut doesn't mean all the kids know how to keep their mouth shut. So that's what, in my mind, my processing, my problem solving techniques, how they process, right? So because of that, because of me speculating that somebody out there would have said something, because you have 300 people, the law of large number would say that a few of those people out of the 300 would not keep their mouth shut no matter what, period. There are just a few in every group. So I would really think that something like an OD would have brought the attention of a lot of people. It would have brought the attention to the event that's happening. I know I've been at many events where there were large numbers of people, including tens of thousands of people. And believe me, when one person, say, had a heat stroke or something like that, the people in the crowd knew it was going on, even with that many people. So, and again, that's just my life experiences that, are allowing me to use that as part of my processing. So is it explainable? To me, it is. Let me keep going here. So Kaylee's father, Daniel Rodni, spoke saying, we need answers. You need answers because your kid becomes 16. Where are they going to go? My daughter is as a straight A student on her way. I knew she had to have been really smart because she graduated so early. So she was 16 and going to college. That's huge. That's huge. But I also know, because of my personal experience, that some of these really, really smart kids use substances to stay up. And, some of these kids, and this is a real story, have addictions before they ever make it to college. because of the pressure, to get those straight A's. I'm not discrediting that. Do I have any information that be true? None. But my past experience makes that be something I have to add to the equation. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, hold on. Let me go. I just dropped one. Hold on a second. Let me go back to my history. There we go. So here's, what she looks like. And there was another picture that they had where, it's hard talking about these cases because she's a victim. But I try to be realistic. And there was one that was in the very first video where she was in the black dress and she was leaning over. And I don't know if it was just the way the camera took the picture, but her eyes were kind of like droopy a little bit. And, it just was she, it just makes you wonder about the substances, because these young kids, they just don't know what they're getting into. And the substances out there today are so much different than what was there whenever I was a kid. The bull sticker on her rear windshield. Okay, so she has a bull sticker on her rear windshield. And we know all this information. I just wanted to see the photos. And I think that's the only photo that they have for that one. And here was one, friend of missing. Kylie compared the party she disliked from the Lord of the Flies and revealed that the end of school event was full of illegal activity. Rodni, 16, was last seen Saturday near the Prosser Family Campground in Truckee at a party attended by more than 100 juveniles and adults in Placer County Sheriff's Office. I can concur that I believe that there was a heck of a lot more than 100 people in attendance there. Ronnie's friend, Sammy Smith, who was at the party with her, shared footage with the son that showed a group of teenagers that gathered at the campsite that was littered with what appeared to be bottles of alcohol. I think a lot of them were scared to talk, Smith said. They were engaged in illegal activity in the woods. It's like the Lord of the Flies space where they can just be. Another source told the Sun that the teens at the party were sometimes fighting, smoking weed, and drinking alcohol. Police said this week they have no evidence to suggest that she was abducted and are focusing focusing on a search and rescue investigation instead. So even law enforcement is telling us, and this is, as I said, this is a later, this actually came, it was updated, I think, 8/12, 8/11, today's the 15th, so 4 days ago. It went from them reporting this as a possible abduction to now they're stating that this is more, they're looking in this as a search and rescue as opposed to a criminal investigation, as opposed to an abduction or anything of that nature. Law enforcement is telling us right here that they are focusing on search and rescue. So I think they even believe she may have gotten behind the wheel of her vehicle and left. So here are some of the videos of, them out there at the party. So we're just going to look through these. That is what she was last seen in. That's what everybody states that she went to the party in, that spaghetti strap tank top with those green Dickies. And then it appears that she may have put a sweatshirt on at some point in the night, or a hoodie. So there they are. That looks like that's Prosser, that lake there. That looks like where they're looking into right now. Dive team, Nevada County. Let's move this out of the way if I can. Yeah. Setting up a spot next to the reservoir, southwest of the camping area. So they're looking in the area where she was last seen, where I think that they need to be looking at other bodies of water in and around that area where she could have been driving. So she seemed just like she just was just enjoying life. She's just enjoying life. And she wasn't too far away from home. She was 30 minutes away. That was it. And she's never been seen from since. Now, there was some speculation that I heard. And again, it's just speculation, conjecture. There's nothing that I can find that is evident. But some people even think that, they do own a lodge, that maybe she made it back to the lodge and encountered maybe a bad person when she got home while her mom was sleeping. I don't know if it's possible, obviously, but I'm not sure if that would be in line with the information that appears the factual information. That just doesn't seem like it goes with that information too well. So that's what that's a home video or home photo of her actual CRV, her silver CRV. And again, a very common vehicle, very common color. It's hard. This is the original black hoodie that they said that she was wearing, but this has since changed. And we're going to go over to law enforcement's social media accounts and get more up-to-date information. I'm not sure that this is the hoodie she had on. I think it was the other one that they are now stating for everybody to be on the lookout for. This is just showing you some of the command stuff. There's her mother. Her mother is absolutely devastated. Yeah, let's just listen.
Florida homeowners, what if you could erase your electric bill and it cost you nothing out of pocket? If you'd like to see how,
I'm gonna okay, they gave me.
If you have a power meter like
we just want her home. We're so scared and we miss her so much and we love her so much. And Kylie, we love you. And if you see this, please just come home. I want nothing more than to hug you. And if anybody else out there, if you know where she is, if you know anything about where she might be, if you have any ideas or thoughts, please come forward and share them. And we're not looking to like bust anybody else or get anybody in trouble. We just want to see our daughter home.
So sad. Let me get this off before it goes to the next one. Sorry.
Hi. Let me go get your mail.
So, and then we're back to that. So, I mean, again, mom is completely, utterly devastated. There's some photos of the children. Here's a video of it, which we're probably going to have another ad in it. So just bear with me as I'm making my way through all this stuff. Or maybe not. Maybe it just doesn't want to go. Yeah, it's taking a little while to load. Let me see if this is just a photo or if I can get that to play. It's not going to play, so do we have anything else over here on this one? Just more information on her. So that's it for that. And then I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm going to go over here. So there's her trip home. So I know you guys have already saw this, but the people that are just coming in here, she was about 30 minutes away from home. And my thought is, what if she took a wrong turn, went up here, this road down here goes down to Lake Tahoe. There's a body water here where they're looking, which is right at the campground. But if she took a wrong turn on I-80, there's this Boca Reservoir. There's also the Truckee Donner Lake. This is, well, I guess, let me see if I can. This is Donner Lake right here. So there's just a lot of large bodies of water that's in and around her way home. And again, What if she didn't go home? What if she made a wrong turn? What if somebody was driving to their house, driving her home, and they were the ones that wrecked? We don't know. Are there any other people missing from this party? Are we asking the right questions? Has everybody that attended this party been accounted for, including the adults and the college students? Those are, some questions I'd like to have answers to before I start pointing fingers at, these children that were obviously intoxicated and weren't and put themselves at risk. We're not victim shaming whatsoever, but we all take, getting in our car and driving to work is a risk that we're willing to take to go to our job. Sometimes people make it to work. Sometimes people do not. I'm applying that same scenario here when I say that. So just to let you guys know, but there is a potential for her to have been turned around. How often does she go out to this park? Did she know where she was? Would she have known it if she was inebriated? What about somebody else? All these questions. So I'm just trying to take a position that is appropriate in this case because of the alcohol. This is coming from Placer County 10 hours ago. Okay. This is the most up-to-date information. So they have developed information that Kiely was seen in a video earlier in the evening at the party. Okay, this is coming from Placer County. She was at the party. I know some people are speculating that she never even showed up there. Law enforcement is saying on their Twitter feed that they actually have video evidence of her being at this party, and have developed new information that they believe she was wearing this hoodie at the party, not the black one that we have seen. This is the hoodie they believe that she was wearing at the time. Tyler, the creators band could have gotten her kidnapped. I don't know. I don't know. So this is the sweatshirt that they believe that they have. Now, although they did not give us an update, a press conference yesterday. Hold on a second, let me turn this off. Although Caribbean Kool-Aid's in the chat, I got your text. Thank you so much. So even though they didn't give an update yesterday, a press conference yesterday, they did provide an update on their Twitter feed just to give you an update with the personnel hours. They've been really transparent with this entire Placer County, whatever. But this has been, they've been very transparent with their time, all this stuff. And they have this little icon here that kind of gives an update. I don't know if it's a dashboard that they're taking a photo of, but they're basically stating that they have 307 active personnel assigned to this case. Their personnel cumulatively since the beginning of this case has worked 12,438 hours. There's been 3 air resources. There's been 2 marine/dive teams, and they have now received 1,200 leads or tips to their agency. So they are working on all of this information. Plus, they have a lot of stuff that's going on. I know people have already seen the press conference that was done on August 13th. I don't want to go back over that. Many of you guys have seen that. So I'm just going through all of this stuff here, so Kiely's ex-boyfriend said he taught her how to get out of sticky situations, and she knew self-defense. Both he and a girlfriend think the 16-year-old wouldn't put her life in danger and could survive. Nonetheless, he texted her, "Don't do anything stupid. Like what? So people are questioning, you know, those text message. But you know what? Again, she was going to a party with a lot of people there. I'm sure he knew about it. You know, this is his girlfriend by herself. He knew that there was probably substances and alcohol, and maybe he's just saying, hey, you know, be careful, don't do anything stupid. You know, is it possible? Yes. You know, I'm not 100% convinced that they did, nobody had anything to do with this, that this wasn't planned. I'm not convinced to that yet. I just think that other avenues need to be thoroughly investigated before we jump to conclusions. But definitely a lot of information on here. You know, again, what she was last seen in. It looks like she went out and she just had fun. And let me make sure there's nothing. Hold on a second. Let me pull this off. Yeah, and guys, whenever I'm live, try to hold off on the messengers because I don't want to have to accidentally, you know, put your stuff up there if there's stuff. But I do appreciate you, Susanna, because I did actually pull up the Instagrams for this morning. Another update on their Facebook page. Excuse me. Hey, Northern Light, nice to see you. So, and that this time they only had, so they've already added, I mean, just from one day to the next, they added 102 personnel to this case, 102 personnel to this case. And again, and at the time, they only had less than 1,000 hits. This is on the 13th. By the 14th, they've had over 1,200 leads, 307 active personnel, and over 12,000, almost 13,000 man hours associated with it. They had 3 air resources and 2 marine dive teams. So, and then, yes, so Robin's posting Adventures with a Purpose. They are going to hopefully be helping. You guys have to remember, you know, some people were bringing up the sonar and stuff like that in the chat. And while that's good, that can only go down so deep. That can only do so much. Adventures with Purpose, they actually put on scuba equipment and basically scour the entire body of water bottom. The reason why they are probably effective is because people, you know, I'm not sure why they're effective. I don't know if it's because we didn't have sonar. A lot of the stuff that they've been able to find were older cases, but they can apply this stuff to this case, especially with all the bodies of water around. And I'm pretty sure, you know, with their stellar reputation and their ability to solve cases, I really do believe they have seen stuff like this before, enough so that their experience will tell them where the best places to search will be. I hope Kylie is found long before Adventures with a Purpose has to get involved. But, you know, at the end of the day, Adventures with Purpose, they are very good at what they do. They have proven that to the world and to their audience. And they're very, very highly respected by me, you know, as with the work that they do. And so I'm hoping that if she's not found within the month, they are able to help find her. But I have a funny feeling it's going to be a terrible, terrible accident. There's just something in me that's compelling me. There's something in other people that are compelling them that you know, people have are involved in this somehow, some way. And, you know, there is a way that they can determine, you know, that 12:30 mark as well. You know, the 12:30 mark when everybody was leaving there, that could imply that something just happened and everybody fled. Or it could imply that majority of the people were high school kids and their parents gave them curfews. So, and their curfews were around about the same time, right? That could explain it as well as to why they them all leaving at 12:30. So, I don't know. More. Here's Samantha Smith. I don't know if I really want to show her Facebook page. That's just for my research. But here's some more pictures of the kids at the party. This is on Facebook page. You know, more pictures of her, what she looked like, what she looks like with darker hair. She just seemed like a very happy kid. And but there are some things like these types of photos that, you know, with her eyes and stuff that I don't know, that just make me feel a little different, you know, like it just makes me feel like there may be something more going on. But there are, if you guys haven't seen it, there are groups on Facebook that are following this particular case. And on the 12th, they had 204 personnel on there, and they had less than 900 tips. So they're getting hundreds of tips every single day about this girl. See, it's like the eyes like this. I'm sorry, they make me question whether she uses substances on a regular basis or not. You know, I don't want to say anything out of place, but you know, she's this picture here looks like a bright woman. She's, you know, very much sober and everything like that. And then I go over here and I look at her eyes on this one, and this is the dress that I was questioning when I saw the photos before in one of the videos. It was something about her eyes this day that made me question, you know, some stuff, because this is also another one. And she just, I don't know, there's just some things that just scream to me substance abuse, or at least on that particular day. And it was the day that she was wearing this black dress. It was the most noticeable for me when I saw her. So again, we just want to uplift the family. We want to uplift her. We're wanting to, you know, pray for her friends and really just, you know, try to find, you know, to find Kylie. But we also want to make sure that we're not senselessly beating up people that may not have had anything to do with this. There are probable scenarios, and law enforcement is telling us in multiple articles that they really don't believe that this is an abduction. They really kind of believe that this is a search and rescue mission, that she may have had a terrible accident. Law enforcement is telling us that in articles with you know, mainstream media and other. They've been very clear and very open and transparent with the public that the only reason why they classified this as a possible abduction, even though there's no evidence of that, is because her car has not been found. But again, that could equate to her being with her car because she had a terrible accident and they have not yet located her. So I just want to make sure that you guys are, you know, have all the information. I'm just not there. I'm not saying that nothing happened. I'm just not there. I'm not really ready. There's a lot of posts about her on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you guys really want to get up to speed on, you know, her and her story, please do so. We're going to be covering it here because, you know, it's a sad story. I'm very interested in it, but I'm just curious as, you know, watching it. But here is, you know, I'm watching Jagger's page as well. You know, I'm watching anything that's coming out. I really feel bad for him that he had to remove posts. He's had to block off any commenting on his page. It's just, I feel bad for him. So hopefully things turn around for him. And, you know, we can find, at the end of the day, everybody wants to find Kylie. Everybody wants to find Kylie. But, you know, sometimes our brains get the better of us and we speculate. And when we speculate, it's true. And we don't mean to, but we start attacking based upon something that has been unfounded. So please just be cognizant of that. If you're angry at these children or think something's going on, just, take a deep breath and let's get a little more information before we start pointing the finger. I think it's in far too premature to be pointing the finger at anybody at this point in time. I really do. Here's some more information about her. This is on the findkylie.com website. If you guys would like to help today, they are doing a search. If you're in and around this area, they will be meeting at the Truckee Rec Center from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. today. Please, if you guys can help this family, help this community, and live near or in and around this community, please consider going over there and volunteering to help find Kylie. Please keep in mind that there are multiple areas that she could be in, and we have to think there are possibilities. These kids were intoxicated. Could have been wrong turns. There could have been somebody that may have drove her. There could have been a number of things that could have happened on August 5th and 6th. So just a lot of other stuff. Again, the sweatshirt she was wearing, we want to make sure we have the most accurate information out there. This Odd Future sweatshirt appears to be the one that she was last seen in. Again, statements from law enforcement stated that they saw her in videos with this hoodie on. So we've confirmed that she has, in fact, been at that party. She did show up to that party. She did go to that party with Magdalene. Magdalene left with her boyfriend. Jagger wasn't even there. Sammy was there, but they were, mingling with other people, meeting here and there, going back to the car, charging up, going out, meeting and mingling with other people, meeting back up, going to the car, charging. That's not, I've done that myself. So that behavior is not uncommon for me. I can visualize that behavior being done at that party. So again, no red flags there for me. Am I upset that her friends left her at a party? Yes, I am. I've been left myself. Nobody really thinks bad things are going to happen until they do. So it's, these kids are going to have to live with that decision the rest of their life. Let's not beat them up yet, because what if this was just a bad accident where she did hurt herself, or, and her friends left her? Her friends are going to have to live with that the rest of their life. Let's just get some more information before we start pointing the finger. I really just, in my heart of hearts, I'm just not getting that vibe with this case. I'm just not. I don't know why. If I'm wrong, maybe my vibe dar is broken. I don't know. I'm just not getting that. Me personally, I'm just not getting that with this case. I'm not. So 16-year-old, blonde hair, hazel eyes, 5'7", 118 pounds. She's had piercings, tattoos on the rib that says 17. Last seen wearing green Dickies, black string strap bodysuit, black Vans, 3 gold necklaces. Those gold necklaces are important because apparently the gold necklaces are missing. They haven't found them. Well, they haven't found it because she's not been found. But I think the reason why they're bringing these gold necklaces up is so if you do see them in and around, or you see something similar, you can please give law enforcement a call. So guys, without further ado, I know we have a lot of people in here. I'm still going to be covering this case, getting some information, but that's everything that I have so far on this particular case. I really did go in here and try to make heads or tails of all this stuff. I really did. It's a lot of information. It's just sad. And we really want to make sure that we're praying for her family and her friends. Seeing her mother like that breaks my heart. I actually saw Magdalene on an interview where she was just, people are saying that there's no emotion from these kids. I beg to differ. Maybe you're not watching the same videos I'm watching, but I saw Magdalene and she was just a mess, an absolute mess. So just, guys, I know it's easy to speculate, but please, I beg of you, let's give this case a little bit. I think there's more than meets the eye with this case. I really do. I really don't. I think by blaming those children, I really think we're hurting people that are already hurting. I really do believe that. I believe we're hurting people that are already hurting. Is it possible they could have done something? Maybe it is, but I'm just not. I personally am not getting that vibe, and I just want you guys to be cautious before you put children through more pain than they already are going through. So just, if you believe it, you believe it. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to give you my perspective, my opinion on what happened to this girl based on the information that's readily available to me. When I am not out there and I'm not getting interviews and I'm not asking questions, I'm basing literally my entire theory off other people's information. And I hate doing that, but that's where I'm at in this particular case. So I have to be cognizant that this information, some of it can be accurate, some of it cannot. Some of it can be flat out mistruths, misinformation. So I'm doing my best to decipher. Again, I'm not there. I'm not able to ask the questions I have. If the internet's not giving me the answers to my questions, I don't have the answers to the questions. So, yeah. And guys, if this was informative for you, please don't forget to like and share. This lady's face, this young girl, so I shouldn't say lady, she's a 16-year-old girl. Her face needs to be plastered everywhere. Please, in your Facebook post, in your Twitter post, if you're in missing persons groups, please pass this video around. Post it in those groups, post it on your Facebook page. Let's get her face out there to the world. She needs exposure. Anybody with any information related to the disappearance of Kiely Rodni is asked to call the Placer County Sheriff's Department. You can call the FBI. You can call the California State Police. Anybody and everybody that you need to get a hold of, please do. If you were at that party attending, they are not coming after you for anything that you have done. They don't care about the underage stuff. They don't. You get your free pass. Don't let it prevent you from telling what happened. If you saw her there, if you saw her get in her car, if you saw her drive off, let law enforcement know. If you saw her talking to somebody, if you saw her getting into a vehicle with somebody, let law enforcement know. Law enforcement doesn't want 300 arrests, 300 kids in jail. That's entirely too much paperwork. They don't want to do it. You get your free pass. If you've got information related to anything to do with Kiely Rodni, call it in. Call it in today. Reach out to somebody. Email them. Call in anonymously. If you're an adult at that party and you were doing things that you should not have been doing, reach out to an attorney. Have them sign you or have them work on an immunity agreement with the law enforcement so you can feel comfortable telling them everything you know. Please, this family needs your help. Her friends need your help. We need your help. If you have any information, please do your part. I was going to go over with other news, but we're getting to the top. We're already halfway through the 2-hour mark, so we're almost going into the 3-hour mark. I wanted to go over the Murdaugh murders. There's a lot of other cases that I wanted to touch base on. I wanted to touch base on Dylan Rounds. I wanted to touch base on some updates for Summer Wells, Cody Bigsby, Michael Vaughan. I am not going to be able to do that quite yet. So because I don't have the time. We're out of time on this segment. I know that Brooks with Crimes, Lies, and Lines is going to be. She always usually goes live at 10. I know we share a lot of the same subscribers, so I want to make sure that you guys have the ability to watch her, which is one of the reasons why I come on so early. So block the bots. Yeah, block the bots. Yeah. So with that, guys, I want you to have a wonderful day. Please go out and again, share this feed, this segment right here, cut and paste the link, the URL, and put it on your Facebook page, put it on your Twitter accounts, put it on your Instagram accounts. If you follow, missing children cases in these missing posts, if you're a joined member to a Kiely Rodni missing group, please post this in there. We want to get her face as far out and as wide out as we can, so she has maximum exposure and the ability to attract as many people that were in and around that area as possible to provide information to law enforcement. That is what we're trying to do here today. So with that, guys, God bless you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for believing in me and coming on here. Thank you for being subscribers, members, moderators, and supporters of this channel. I really couldn't do any of this without each and every one of you. If you guys are interested in research or other things, marketing or things like that, just stuff that you like to do in your downtime or for fun, we might have a position for you here in the near future. We're looking to start rolling out teams, research teams, marketing teams, design teams, and things of that nature. If you have a creative niche, or you just want to, like I said, just want to do something in your own time to help this channel, I would love to have you be a part of that. So if there's something that you are considering doing or interested in doing, please reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Let me know what your strengths are. Maybe you can help the Bullhorn Betty channel expand and grow. So let me know. I will talk to you guys later. Have an amazing Monday, and we will be tuned back in here tomorrow to go over a lot of different cases. We're going to have to do an update. It's, I was not able to do the updates today, being Monday. So we're going to go through all of our updates on our cases tomorrow morning. So please tune in tomorrow. And with that, everybody, we'll see you later. And don't forget to be fearless, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.